Hola, conquistadors. This is Spirit of 420. I am Spirit of 420 because everything I do is so fucking 420. Understand? Understand? Anywho, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of I Don't Know What the Fuck is Going On. And quite frankly, if you can't tell, I don't care because I live every day by the moment. By the moment. Like the way that I cup this mic's balls by the moment. Each moment, it's a better one than the last. Don't know if we're going to have anybody live with us tonight. We may. It'll happen if it happens. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's all good to me, but here's a cup of coffee to you and to me. Oh, God, that's so good. And I was having this bowl with my wife, who said that I am not allowed to do a long show. I got to stay off my feet. I've got a swollen foot. I've got a burned leg. Yesterday, my son came by. He got a motorcycle from a buddy of mine, funny enough, which I'm happy about. Quick story. My buddy was like, dude, I feel bad. Should I have asked you about if it was okay to sell him my bike? I was like, dude, he's going to buy a bike no matter what. He's 22 years old. It's not, what the fuck? Am I going to be the dude that goes, hey, you can't buy a bike, and then my son's going to be pissed off at me? No, that's not going to work, right? So obviously that's not, hey, princess, how you doing? That's not really going to be something that I would choose to do, right? So regardless, my son got the bike, and he spent the last couple of days rebuilding it. It was a good bike in good condition, but the cars needed to be rebuilt. And if you know anything about bikes, it wasn't that big of a job. It just took him like a day and waiting on parts kind of thing. So he came by yesterday, and the first thing I asked him was, did you get sponsored? Did you get your license and all that? And of course, he's driving illegally, but with insurance, right? So there's that on top of it. But I did give him a hard time for it because I'm like, dude, you really got to, go ahead and get those things cleared. But nonetheless, as soon as he got here, I was like, hey, you mind if I take her for a ride around the block, right? He's like, yeah, you know how to drive a bike, right? I was like, of course. Like, when's the last time you were on? I was like, 20 years ago. Well, you can imagine the look at his face the moment I said 20 years ago was not one of inspiration and very inspiring that I was going to handle this bike all that well, which it wasn't that big of a bike. Well, I guess depending on who you are. It was a 750 4-stroke. So it's nothing, it's not a monster, if you will, but it's not a baby either, right? So I proceeded to get on. I had shorts on, and everything was fine, except when I pulled my leg over, I just completely forgot about the fact that this had aftermarket exhaust pipes on it. So they were tailpipes, so they were a little bit larger than normal, and my inside of my calf just barely touched the pipe, but it was enough. Let me tell you, it was absolutely enough for me to feel it quickly. And in fact, I won't be able to get my leg up into camera view, but just, you can trust I've got a strawberry about that big from where the pipe touched me all like that much. So it was pretty quick. Quite frankly, it happened really fast. And then it was about 10 minutes later, it was burning like a Dickens. So felt like that great moment, dad knows best. I can get on that bike. Oh shit. But here's the funny follow-up. You got to hear this. That story was well told, well known throughout the family here. Oops. And the reality is, I even showed my mother the next morning, showed my wife. My wife put aloe on it. She was actually there like right after I did it. But regardless, I told my mother, and my son came by tonight because my mother did not get to see the bike. So sure enough, she goes out there to look, and she decides to get on the bike, and she does the same thing. I couldn't believe it when I literally Same thing. The only difference is I had shorts on, she had pants. So hers was probably like about maybe a third, maybe a fourth of the damage that I did to my skin. Luckily, because the woman is 21 years older than me. But I couldn't believe it. She walked out there and did the same thing that my dumbass did. And it's because you don't realize how big that tailpipe is. It's much bigger. I mean, I will say this in defense of both my mother and myself. The tailpipe is much larger than a standard tailpipe. It's not what you would, it's not what you expect. You expect to be able to let your leg go where I let my leg go. And I'm sure it's the same place my mother let her leg go. We are both familiar with bikes and been on them for years. I hadn't been on one in 20 years, but I'm 50 years old. You can imagine I have my history. So, needless to say, it was quite perplexing that we both did it, particularly after I had already done it, and she essentially knew the dangers, but still did it. And I'm wondering how many times my son is going to end up hurting himself, because that's a hell of a tailpipe. He better like really learn quickly to be. And I know that obviously he's riding it, so I'm sure. Yes, she's okay. I don't think that she even has half. Like I say, I think she maybe did 1/3, 1/4 of the damage that I did. Not a whole lot of damage whatsoever. And the reality is, again, she had denim on in between the tailpipe and her skin, unlike me, which I just put, my skin right directly on there, which was awesome, by the way. It was really, really awesome. So, let's see. What do we have up for tonight? That just sounds good, but topics to be determined. Oh, yeah. So I was going to talk a little bit about friends, and I know I have some friends out there that end up watching the show. So let me just say, you will know if it's you. I will not say any names, as I never do. But most likely it's not you, because it's only one in particular friend that I'm talking about. And the question that I have for myself and for the show, obviously, thank you, Bird. Thank you very much. I'm sure we'll heal up just fine. The question that I have is, how do you express to a new friend, right, that has become rather close, that their actions are hurting them? And then you have to, the question that I have is, will that hurt the relationship? Will I lose it? Well, the first thing I should say to myself, and the first thing that I would say to anybody telling me this, is if telling them destroys the friendship, they were never a friend to begin with. Right? So there's that. So then you have to move on to sunny point number 2, which essentially is, how do you go about doing it in the most productive manner? Let's put it that way. And I think some of that really depends on, your own individual self, right? And how you talk to people, how you come across. I mean, if you're just a dick about it, then it's not going to come across very well. It doesn't matter what you're saying, right? And if you're too nice about it, then you can also come across as being what a lot of people end up interpreting as patronizing. Don't patronize me. Please don't patronize me. Please. Oh, I fucking can't stand that. I try not to say it anymore because I can't stand hearing it. Because when you're talking to someone, usually, and they say that, it's because you're trying to be weary of their feelings and of who they are, and not actually patronize them for what the term is used as today. I know y'all tuned in to watch me drink water, but damn, I was thirsty. So, just a brief general background. I have a close friend. He's become close. We've never met face to face. So obviously that's one clue. It is an internet friend, right? And they've gone through some shit recently, so that puts a kink in it. Because I know that they themselves are dealing with, a ridiculously tough time right now in their own personal life. By the way, tonight is reclaim night, reclaim the past, as they say. So I am doing reclaim, but I will say this in defense of my reclaim. My reclaim is fucking the bomb. The shit is like honey. And what I mean by that is it's quite clear. It's quite good. It literally looks like honey on a stick. It hardly looks like reclaim. There you go. Maybe you can see it there. Look at that. It's actually amber. And I mean, it's dark, right? But the only wax that I smoke is all solventless. So all of my, as you can imagine, all my reclaim is pretty damn clean, quite frankly. That was almost a "that's what she said" moment. It's extremely clean. Don't worry. Just try it. Just ignore that smell. Did I say that out loud? Sorry. I probably did, and I meant to. So there's challenges in the essence of how do I discuss this with my friend, number one, because that means most likely I'm going to have to start it off via some kind of text message, right? Which does not lend itself for context and emotion. Therefore, there's not a lot of continuity to it, if you will. Is that what you guys hear too? I'm assuming that you do. Oh, now you hear me tapping that. That's even better. All right, here we go. It does pack a wallop. I will tell you that. That's what she said. Dead air. Dead air. That's my fucking station. I can do what I want. Like I said, I don't really expect a whole lot of people are going to be here. So most likely the folks that are watching will be watching a pre-record and they can just zip right through those parts. Get your remote out. Have your mouth handy or your finger ready. Whatever the case. Holy shit. I believe I may have gotten just a little overzealous with that last hit. The reclaim you can't do as much as you would. And honestly, I like smoking it because I kind of feel high again when I don't feel high very often. Like now, a little floaty. It only lasts for a second. I mean, literally seconds. It won't be an entire minute that I feel this good. So obviously I have to start this thing out via text message, which is not necessarily, how do you say, prone to all those things I discussed. So then I have to start looking at it doubly, you know, and then the analyzation just gets overboard. But I know if I try to call, I probably won't get an answer. And then that'll just piss me off, right? So I'm not going to go down that road. On a sunny note, because there is no sun, it is literally clouds overhead. I was going to take my drone out tonight, but no siree, Bob. On a sunnier note, I did think it would be kind of cool, and I don't think we have a whole lot of people in the audience, so I will save it for another time. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and do it this time because, how you say, it's good practice, number one, to do this and see how it comes out. And number two, I was looking forward to it. So I'm going to premiere a Dank.Tube video tonight on the channel on live here. So I'm going to change up the First, we're going to take away that branding there, right? And then we're going to change it over to that. I'm going to come over here and we're going to change this to this. The title of this video is Unknown Strain. This was made, and if you can't figure out the concept of it, well, just watch it again and again. But regardless, this was made for Dank.Tube. This will be our fifth, I think, total, fourth or fifth launch video. I've got so many that I'm making. I think I've got about 22 total. And when we're done with all those 22 videos, we'll have all 40 some odd, nearly 50 strains available to smoke from. And when I say that, that means obviously watching videos. Everything we do is for stoners, by stoners, about stoners, to stoners, right? Which I am stoned right now. Can't you tell? So, without further ado, the video is all of 2 minutes and 3 seconds, so it's not going to take long, and you'll probably enjoy it. The music is not mine, but it is, I have the rights to it, so it is royalty free, and I'll be clearing this later because this is a premiere video. It has not been seen anywhere out there before until now. So with that, enjoy. Yeah, if you can't tell, we have been having a lot of fun. The theme is clearly chicken head. I have another video starring just the chicken that's going to be coming out soon. She's doing the chicken dance, but we got to get a few more because it's basically an homage. I think that's the word, an homage to Arrested Development. So, lover of the show. Loved it when it first came out, actually. Funny enough, there's 3 shows now, and I know there's been several more, but there's 3 shows that were all Fox shows, funny enough, that I watched all of them in the beginning, and they all got canceled, and they all got brought back. And, well, actually, I say one of them didn't get brought back. It was made into a movie instead of being brought back. But the first one was Family Guy, followed by Firefly, excuse me. And then the most recent of all of them was Arrested Development, funny enough. But Family Guy came out first, and it was either 2 or 3. I think it was 3 seasons as well. And then it went off the air and got brought back by Fan Demand. Then Same thing happened with Firefly, except it took years. That one came out like back in 2001, I want to say, because I was still with uh, the twins' mother. That was it had maybe I'm sorry, 03, 03, yeah, 03. So that came out like 03, maybe late 02. No, I think it was 03. And there wasn't a movie for it until what was it, 06 or 07 when they did the movie Serenity, which was fucking kick ass, by the way. Um, uh, Thank you. I appreciate it. We had a lot of fun. Excuse me. So anyway, yeah, that movie, all three of those shows ended up being brought back. But the one that we're going to be doing soon, or that we'll be releasing soon, I should say, is going to be the homage to the way that the Blues danced. They were, or the way that they would call out someone as a chicken. Let's just put it that way. So they each had their own little messed up dance. Anywho, I'll figure it out with my friend. It's not going to be hard, you know. Just talking about it. I mean, obviously there were some things right there that I said at the beginning. I know I can do it if they're who they are and they say they are, then it's not going to be a problem. It's only going to move the relationship forward, right? So I didn't have a whole lot tonight. It was more about getting back into consistency, if you will, and just making sure that I stay consistent. I'm going to do better about announcing things that's on the work list. What I mean by that is, you know, I think a lot more people would be involved with certain things if I just learn to, you know, say it a few times instead of right before I go live or something, right? So I will be keeping that in mind. One of the things that I almost have finished actually is a calendar, and then I'll be able to kind of, you know, I was thinking of a way of sharing that way people can just see where things are at. I just have to look into that. Probably have to get some kind of a what do you call it? Maybe some kind of a add-on or an app or something like that. I'm sure I can do that. Anywho, let's see. Oh, you know what? We can throw in. Let's do this because I did say I was going to do it, and how I forgot and didn't put that in there, I don't know, and I'll have to put it in the title. But the Flick Dick did go on an investigation the other day. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, it was a three-dimensional investigation. Went to go see Thor, Thun and Lunder. I'm sorry, Thun and Thunder, Sun and Thunder, Love and Thunder. There it is. I will say this. It was exactly kind of what I anticipated, although it caught my heart at a few times. That's the way that director does. I always mess his name up. I think it's Tikio Wadi or something like that, I believe. That's pretty close. Anyway, the dude's awesome. I started watching him back when he did the movie, not the show that has become somewhat popular, I believe, but the movie, What We Do in the Shadows. That was a great movie, and he did it with the other half of Flight of the Conchords, who I had become a huge fan. There was actually the manager from Flight of the Conchords was in that. Apparently, they're doing a spinoff. It's called Werewolves, WE''RE space wolves, right? And that other dude played one of the werewolves that was in that. It's supposed to be a spinoff. Anyway, I digress. The point that I was saying is Thor. This dude makes good movies. I haven't seen a movie by him that I didn't enjoy. And in fact, every movie I've ever seen by him, particularly ones written and directed by him, I would give at least a minimum of a 7. This one is no different. I've had the number since I walked out of the theater. 78 is what I give it out of 100. So 78 trees. It was only a little bit of bad acting, and you have to expect that, quite frankly, when you're talking about Marvel. And again, I don't want to spoil anything, so I don't think I'm spoiling anything. We all know they carry these weapons. I just felt like there was times where I looked at the weapon and I was like, okay, that clearly weighs nothing more than maybe a half a pound, the way that the person's manhandling it. So even if they were, you know, Thor or Mighty Thor or Little Thor or Tiny Thor or whoever Thor, full circle, it was a great movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did not fall asleep. I wasn't bored. It was just the right length. It wasn't even 2 hours long, which was actually nice because a lot of these comic book movies lately have been going way too long, in my opinion, for what they are. They need to be short, sweet, and to the point. And in fact, that was managed very well. There was some cute little storytelling situations. Again, this is not giving anything away because you'll get it. Storytelling, it's a fucking movie. You'll get it when you see it. You'll know what I mean. All the way down to the very end. I actually really loved, you know, a movie can make or break itself in those last 10 minutes. And quite frankly, this one made itself. It kept the whole movie in gear and ended it just the way that it needed to be ended. And it wasn't what I expected either. So when you can actually, you know, quite frankly, I know this probably sounds rude to a lot of people, but when you can surprise me in a movie anymore, that always gets me. And I mean that because there's not a lot of surprises left. It's like I saw the preview for the other day for this movie. I think it's called The Tower. And it looked like two chicks are on some kind, one of these, you know, triangle-ish towers that go, I mean, way the fuck up there, right? Why they're on it, I don't know. And the whole movie, or excuse me, the whole trailer is literally, so imagine, you know, like this is the tower, right? And the camera is like right here, and it's just, and you can just tell. I mean, first of all, you can tell it's CGI. You're like, okay, somebody's really good with a computer. And they're obviously not that good if I can see that in a film anymore, because quite frankly, I watch robots doing love badly, and the shit that they fucking pull in that is amazing. So I know that they can make it lifelike. It's whether they choose to. And I watched this trailer and I knew exactly where this was going, you know, because it's not like it's the first time that they've done this. The scene kind of got started with the first one that I really remember that really built on it. And of course, it was also CGI because it was done after the fall. There's the big hint. But The Walk, I think was the name of it, or The Wire. The Wire was the documentary and The Walk was the movie, I believe. But it was the biopic is what I'm talking about, by Robert Zemeckis, that starred Little Ding Dong from 30 Days from the Rock. What is his name? Oh, he's got one of those three firsts. He was in Batman. It's right there. Right there. Oh, anyway. Anywho, that dude starred as the Frenchman that walked across in real life, mind you, because the documentary shows the real life footage of the guy that walked from Tower A to B, the Twin Towers. So, but in the movie, the biopic, that was the exact shot. They were like from the side of the building all the way up to the top, right? And don't get me wrong, I mean, it's a cool shot, but again, like, did they think they were going to surprise somebody? Probably a few people, but when you've watched movies, as many movies as I have, as many times as I have, and as many years as I have, it really does take a lot to surprise you. So overall, Thor, great direction, couple of good surprises. For the most part, the acting as acting alone, I would give it like an 8. Story alone, I definitely give that on the higher side, like a 95. The 80 is acting. So overall, 78 though. I mean, there were some distractions. Go with that. One of them I already told you, the weapons. So that's as much as I'll say. You know they have weapons, so I'm not taking anything away from them. You'll see it for yourself. So either way, most people don't realize just how normal Strange is. And as they say, everybody has opinions, right? And everybody thinks that everybody's opinion stinks like assholes. Mine stink like, yes, I have enough this time too. Like fresh brewed coffee, and thank you, my wife, for brewing it. As well as dank ass medical grade weed. Another thank you to my wife for packing all these bowls for me before the show. And on that last note, I will say, go to Dank.Weed. It's completely secure, got 2-factor authentication. It's a badass site made for stoners, for stoners, about stoners. And post a video, just like 3 seconds of you hitting the fucking bong. You know, do one where you can't see your face. Someone already did that, you know. Anywho, till the next episode, everybody have a wonderful night. By the way, each and every one of you are awesome. Each and every one of you are special. You're here for a reason. It all matters. Everything matters. Everything happens for a reason. So even the little details that people tell you don't matter and you feel like they do, that's because you're right. They do. Go with your gut. Listen to yourself. Listen to this. This speaks louder than anything else. And I'm not talking about listen to this. Right? This talks down to you. Right? This talks shit to you. I had some wax on my finger. This talks down. This tells you what to do. Learn the difference. I love each and every one of you, and I mean that. And until the next episode, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And the next episode will be, let's see, today is Friday, the 15th, right? So that means Sunday is the 17th. So I'll be back Tuesday. But I will probably do some kind of, I think I may put together a little stream that'll stream out Monday. So look for it. Till then, everybody have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, there it is. Oh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yep. Thank you, Princess. It was right there. I could nearly. Oh, I was about to say one of those things that she said. Regardless, have a wonderful evening. I got to get back over to this proper page here. Until the next episode. See you then.